I hope the cryptoverse is treating you well today. My last video I left off here. It has since broke down out of that green ascending wedge you see there. It was on the fence. It was on the fence. My last video, I talked about not being able to draw a parallel channel in here. I see lots of videos on YouTube that they use trend lines. I'm not sure why they just don't extend it into a parallel channel. I find parallel channels, in my experience so far on Bitcoin over the last couple of years, parallel channels are very, very accurate. An ascending channel will break down. A descending channel will usually break up. See, like there's, I mean, just for the new folks out there, just real quick, I'll get to what I'm talking about here. But like a descent, you start to see them, right? If you're watching a lot of videos, I would recommend you just to start learning this stuff. It's not that, it's actually pretty easy. It's not, no one's like, none of this analysis is anything difficult. So like there's kind of one here. See that? See how that's working? You can do a lot of this yourself, right? It's just like right here. See that? Extend it out so you can see what I'm talking about. Extend that out so you can get a good look at it. See how it broke down? See that? There's one here. This is real interesting. I couldn't see one. It hadn't formed yet. It just now formed on that last dump. I didn't see it, and sometimes you can anticipate these things, but I still couldn't see it. And I saw someone had a trend line drawn here on the top of this channel here. So this parallel ascending channel here, middle of September to the start of November, and it broke down hard. And look at that. Look at that. I actually extended it. It wasn't the prettiest thing, but there it is. And it actually turned out to be valid pretty much at this point. I was going to make this video before it bottomed out here, but let's zoom in on that. I had this channel drawn in here right before this, and I actually went out door dashing, so I couldn't take advantage of it. I knew this. I had a sense. I just had a hunch I was going to do this thing. I did it right there, just boom, right exactly off the bottom of it. So in my opinion, this is now a very, very valid channel. And it's kind of interesting that it's the exact same channel as back in September to November of 2022, right? That was quite a while ago. It actually has reclaimed it. And this fits into my overall analysis of my happy chart, my happy place chart. I do believe, folks, we've entered this right here. This is the final push, dump, wash out that leads into the true bottom bear market. I don't think the bear market is going to last very long. Real quick, I wanted to make this video short and about one subject, but here I go. Here's an old Wall Street chart right there, but let's not talk about that one. Where's it at? This one. The halving cycles. In 2016, the halving cycle was right here where my cursor's at. See that? And it took almost a year for anything to really happen. And at that time, there was pumps and dumps in here, and you just can't see it now. But really, it just was flat until about the middle, about a year later, it started going. Here, right here, is the last halving in 2020, right here in this area. And as you can see, that's a much shorter distance, right? Here's the halving in 2016. This area takes that long. Here's the halving 2020, and this is just basically, a little pump and dump here, and then 4 months or so, and it just went parabolic. So I'm thinking the next parabolic push, I think, might be happening in 2023 towards the end of the year, right? I still believe that this is we still need to go through this. It needs to cycle through this here, right here. This is where I'm circling. Go to the cycle chart. Here's the cycle chart of Bitcoin. This right here, I do believe is what we're entering into. I'll link up my last video in the description if you want to go look at the backstory. I think that's going to be it. This guy, right? That's that guy. And then bull market here. So real quick, now that I've got a parallel channel in here, the ascending wedge is basically done and over, but I like leaving the patterns in there for quite a while because they can still be useful. Say if this pumped up hard, it's liable to bump its head on the bottom of that wedge, right? Watch. Actually, if you wanted to try to trade this, Now I'm comfortable shutting down my shorts and longing. I have a short and a long open right now. I don't want to get into that, but the bottom of this channel is probably going to be support for a while. This all fits together. Let me just stutter at you for a while. This dotted line in the channel, you can see here. See the heavy resistance it was. So that's a likely resistance right here where I got that orange line drawn. And then this channel here, the bottom of the channel could be resistance, and then the top of this is resistance. So here's kind of your resistance. This here, right? This is where it could bump its head and dump. The pumps could dump, right? It could pumpy dumpy, something like this, and then maybe it's support here, right? Boom, right? And eventually this is going to do one of these numbers. I've never seen a parallel ascending channel on the Bitcoin daily chart or a long-term chart. Over a month, 5, 6 week, 8 week, 3, 4, or 5 weeks. A nice long one. I've never seen it break up. I've always seen it break down. I've seen them actually a couple times. Get that off there. A couple times I've seen them. They do every now and then. They will do one of these numbers. Whoop, nope, psych. Right. So it's a fakey fake, and it still busts down. I've never seen one ever go up, and I've been watching this for quite a while. The likelihood of this breaking down is very extremely high. Anyways, yeah, this could be some interesting trades. It's probably gonna be choppy. Very, very confident that this is happening right here. We are in this range right here. This was likely the dump we just saw, right? This is just such an amazing chart. Now, I don't want to go too far with this, but a couple dumps and pumps in this range. What I think is it's probably not going to go over this yellow line at 24,270. It might, but probably not more than maybe a wick up to the top of the parallel channel and come straight back down. I think 24,600 is going to be very, very, very super resistance. I don't think it's going to 25,000. It might take a run at the top of this channel occasionally. Close to springtime is where this guy is probably dumping down. And it could come back down to 12,000. When it finally makes its last dump out of that parallel channel, I think it might have a lot of dumpiness, a lot of big red candles. That's too far to talk about now. I think it's become pretty clear to me now, since the ascending wedge broke down and has legitimized this channel, in my opinion. I think I'm pretty confident now for this to do some ranging, right? I don't know what it's going to look like, but I wouldn't suspect. So let's see. Say it wicks up to 24/7, 24/6 right there. A lot of steam, hood squad, hype, but probably this looks like to be, I would probably say the middle of March. The first or second week of March is probably. Now I'm just don't take this too much to heart, but it's going to be something around that ballpark right here. Boom. Right, and then the 12,000 could be April. If it goes down to 12, maybe it stops again and double bottoms at the other low at 15,000, whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if it took a run below that. I wouldn't be surprised if we set a new low. And lots of people out there might not want to hear that, but it's actually good news, because that's when we can start talking about the final or the next cycle in realistic terms, right? This is this is probably going to start early. Here's 2024 right here. Okay, mark that off. See that little guy I put down there? And here's July 2023. So, say I'm right, and it bottoms out in, say, the middle of April, early April. I think the next parabolic push is probably happening in December of 2023. November, maybe it humps up and kind of comes back down, and then very early 2024. I think this parabolic push might be starting before the halving date, and you're going to hear a lot of stuff about it doesn't happen until after the halving date. And I saw and leading up to the last cycle, I see a lot of people made a lot of mistakes comparing the coming cycle to the previous cycles, right? And this has clearly been getting shorter and shorter. See, here's the halving. See the big flat bear market to the right? Long time. Boom. Here's this one. Halving's here. Not very long, right? Within like a month or so, it actually pumped up hard, ranged, dumped back down, and then parabolic. That's pretty quick. See that? And there was a lot of hype here. There's going to be even more hype now, right? Lots of more people, such as myself, like myself, have got into this now. And with every one of these waves, here's the one. Here's the first halving pump. Can't even see it. Every 3 years and 10 months, this is happening, give or take. With every one of these new halving waves, also comes in a new wave of people into crypto, right? So the next wave is going to be even more massive, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So subscribe to my channel. I've talked enough. I wanted to show you this. If you're experienced with trading, I think this could be a really nice range to look at. If you want to draw in this parallel channel, I'll show you where I got it here. It's these three. This is the daily chart. There's one. These 3 weeks here. There's one. This one. This one. One topped here, and fairly close here. There's really not that much data. I wouldn't be surprised if this does take a run to the top of this channel and bounce off of it. I wouldn't be surprised because, well, I mean, I don't know. It could, but you got my point. This parallel channel, I do believe, is representing this. See, there's I could kind of draw a parallel channel here. See this? See this? Like this wick here to this wick here, kind of here, and this is where it's breaking down here. Boom. So it's hard to tell. I mean, this, of course, is not going to follow this like a carbon copy, but see how you can see kind of a parallel channel structure in here, this, and then you would hop it up here, kind of like right here. See that? A little bit. You know, it's not great, but it's kind of there. And break down. Boom. Come back up. So I think this parallel channel is representing that range, right? The final range. It's this guy here. So I think you got my point. There it is, folks. I would say 24,600 is going to be very difficult to get above. 25,000, I don't think it's going above it. And the whales will come in. The HUD, the hype squad, the HUD will allow the FUD squad to come in and ruin you, right? That's how this works. The hype squad sets you up, and the FUD squad knocks you down. So I do believe that's what we're looking at. And see how many other ways I can say the same thing. Let's scrunch this down. So I should have done that to begin with. Let's scrunch it down. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? One of these numbers. Oh, I didn't mean to go above that channel too far. Right, see what I'm saying? And then finally, like I've been saying, these parallel ascending channels are very bullish or bearish, and I've never seen one go that long, which I'm anticipating this might. Now it could drop out of here at any time. You know, it could just be now, right? So be careful with that bottom support line on that parallel channel, right? I would be very comfortable entering shorts anytime you see it get up to the top of the blue channel. Anytime you see it up here, I'd be very comfortable entering shorts here. I'd be real skeptical of entering longs on the support line, and then watch the dotted line all the way through the middle. It's probably being a resistance, maybe flip to support. And so if you can see what I'm talking about in that scribble, then you're doing really good. You got the point, man. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night, and thanks for watching.